Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the mother-daughter duo. Please welcome Dr. Jyotsna Suri, Chairperson and MD, the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group, and Ms. Shraddha Suri Marwah, CMD Subros. And to build this conversation, I would like to welcome Ms. Ajita Shashidhar, National Editor, Fortune India.
Good evening and a warm welcome to Fortune India Most Powerful Women Awards yet again. So women in entrepreneurship is an oft-discussed topic. But today, what makes this discussion extremely different and unique is this mother-daughter duo. Not only they are great entrepreneurs and leaders in their own merit, but both of them run very different businesses. While Shraddha runs an extremely male-dominated business, Mrs. Suri is running a consumer-facing business, which is hospitality. And all of us, many of us have stayed at the Lalit hotels, and we know how, their hospitality is really cutting edge. So thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for agreeing for this discussion. So I would like to begin with you, Shraddha. Though I know you are in a business which is very different from what your mother runs, but the basic tenets of business, what is it that you have learned from your mother, which are the, which kind of has helped you take your business forward?
To begin with, I think she's tough. She's very tough. But I think one of the greatest quality that she has is one of resilience, As a family and as an industry, we've seen a lot of ups and downs. I've never seen her flutter. She lets, it's almost like when you're in the middle of a storm, you're like, there are too many moving parts, let me stay where I am and let the storm pass. And I think that's the best way to handle any crisis, and that's one thing that I've learned from her, because as kids, I'm quite old myself, but as kids, we tend to be impulsive. And when you're impulsive, you tend to make wrong decisions. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I've learned from her.
Ma'am, how different is Shraddha, or how similar is Shraddha in terms of an entrepreneur or a leader, if I were to compare her with you?
Well, I'd like her to be a replica of me, so I want her not to be different in any which way. But, we both have, first of all, namaskar, everyone, and thank you all for having us
Pleasure.
here. We both have two different businesses to run. Ours is a more people-centric. It's hospitality and it's people-centric. We have to be very empathetic. So my decisions keep all of that in mind. We're very inclusive. So that's the similarity with her and me, is that our values. Your question was, how similar and how different are you? So the values that we have very, very strong values: integrity, dedication, devotion. All of that is common, and she has the same. But our approach, because we are in different businesses, is very different. Like I said, ours is a very people-centric business, and hers is a very product-centric. So she brings in innovation, she brings in technology, and she has to keep pace all the time, whereas we come with more empathy. My decisions are taken in the larger scheme of things, because I'm not only looking after my guests, I'm also looking after my teams. So that's where the difference is.
Great. I'll come to the empathy bit a little later. But, ma'am, Lalit Hotels is an extremely inclusive organization. They have like 50% of their workforce are women, which is incredible, and it's quite rare in corporate India. So they definitely deserve an applause for that. But also you have beautifully included people with disabilities, people from the LGBTQI community. And as a journalist who covers on DEI, writes a lot about DEI, I often hear leaders telling me that an organization needs to mirror its consumers. The workforce of an organization needs to mirror its consumers. Only then can it be successful. So it'll be I want to hear from you as to, by being such an inclusive organization, how has it helped your business in terms of growth, in terms of profitability, in terms of, in general, how has it helped your business?
So I want to make a little correction. Though I love that applause, the 50% women workforce is in my top leadership. It's not across board. I wish it was across board, but it's not.
That's also a rarity.
Well, that is a rarity. I completely agree. And you talked about inclusion and how does it affect my business and the consumer. So for us, I have to tell you, inclusion is not a box that we tick. It is part of our DNA. We live it, we experience it. And let me tell you, it's a business decision. It's not just something that I'm doing because I want to be charitable and I want to tick that box. It's a very, very well taken, well thought of business decision. And both ways. So my workforce has these wonderful people who are so loyal that it warms your heart. That's number one. So you are getting them a life of dignity, which they deserve. And then your consumer, who also may be coming from that community or from that segment, gets very comfortable because he or she is able to relate with the team. So it's a win-win situation. And I have to tell you that, my son is sitting here in the audience, Keshav, who actually took a lead on all of this. I have to tell you that other hotel chains have really picked it up. And I am so happy with that because I wanted others to pick up and emulate what we are doing. So a win-win situation.
And you have the pride flag in all your hotels, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we flutter it with pride.
Coming to you, Shraddha, since you work in an extremely male-dominated business, you hardly find women there. When you got into this business, were there any biases that you had to deal with? And more importantly, we would like to know that how you are building a balanced workforce.
So, I joined this business 26 years ago, and I was one of 3 women in our organization out of, at that point, 3,500 people. I'm sure there were biases. I just didn't care too much about them. Because I walked in as me, I didn't walk in as a male or a female. I do think that skill doesn't have gender. So I was very thick-skinned. The issues may have been on the other side. I just simply ignored them.
How did you deal with it?
It actually didn't bother me because, if somebody has a fractured ego, then that's their problem. It's not my problem. They got to deal with it and they got to fix it. I was very focused on the fact that I got to go there and I got to work, and that's what I did. And that's how it went along. But as time has gone by, I have to say over 26 years, the mobility space and the auto component space we're far behind the rest of the sectors, but we've still come to a point where we are 11% women. My company, Subros, has about 20% women now.
That's quite a good number.
But what is interesting is that our board has more than 50% women, and that's, I think that's important. Thank you. Where we still lack, though, is senior management and middle management, where we struggle. We are still struggling. So what I would like to say to everyone is that please think of work as a skill, not as a gender. And, let the best skilled person be there. It doesn't matter who they are and where they come from. Yeah.
Ma'am, coming to you, I've written a lot of stories on the leaky pipeline, where women are kind of, they're not able to go beyond the middle management because they exit the workforce.
That's right.
But the pipeline becomes leakier when it comes to including the pride community into the workforce or people with disabilities. So since you have done such a good job of it, what really would be your message to our audience as to what kind of a mindset change do organizations need to go through in order to, kind of clog this leaky pipeline?
So I want to just add one thing. The similarity that you were talking about between Shraddha and me, and one of the similarities is exactly that. Both of us have never seen ourselves as women or men. You know, she's the chairperson, I'm the chairperson, and whichever, whether it's a male or a female, the issues that a chairperson faces in his or her organization is identical. They don't change because you're a woman. I do want to say that as a woman, you probably take more balanced decisions. Excuse that, I mean, I'm not saying anything negative about the men, but women take more balanced decisions, but that's the similarity. Coming to the point of these leaky pipelines and what happens to these young girls. So let me tell you that, you know, I'm going to talk about my sector, my business. So we have a great influx of young women who come in at the beginning. And then they get married, and it's taken for granted that she now is going to stay at home and she's going to raise the children. So what happens is that she misses out on the 4 or 5 years that her male colleague has gone ahead with. So when she comes back to the workforce, she's left far behind. And that is very disappointing for her, so she has to work a lot more to get there. And that's where a lot of disappointment allows these girls then to just sort of drift away. So what have we done for that? What we've done is that we've given flexible timings, allowed them, though our business does not allow much from work from home, but we've given them that flexibility so that they continue to stay in touch with work. And when they come back after, say, 4 years, they're not lagging behind. They come back at the same level as their male colleagues. And that has really helped. And therefore, we are now getting more women in the middle, and that's how they come to the leadership roles. Coming to the marginalized communities, you know, the marginalized communities, I have to say, I don't agree that there is a leaky pipeline there at all, because they are very committed. I mean, it has to be a very genuine reason for them not to continue to come to work. Otherwise, they are so dedicated and they are so diligent that they will be there every single day. And I can assure you that the loyalty that they have is unmatched. So the leaky pipeline is for the girls, yes, but not so much for this community.
Interesting. I can see the time's up signal, time up signal going up. So, and after this, we have yet another very interesting discussion on, you know, from being job seekers to job creators. So I think, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being part of this discussion. I really enjoyed moderating it. And I hope all of you enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us.